Okay, hello again YouTube, it's Koari-chan, and as you can see, I'm not where I normally am. Instead of in my dorm room, I'm back in my room at home. I get to be home for 1 week before I return for the summer to do an internship. Yay me. But in the meantime, I wanted to do a clothing haul video, but I decided to wait till I get a better camera, which might be later this week, I'm not sure yet. But because I got, three really nice items, which is why it's a mini haul, but they're kind of detailed and kind of nice, and I don't want to lose that with my crappy camera quality. So instead, I will talk about, you get to hear my voice for a few minutes. I will talk about my hair journey. And it's been a long one, and it's still not over. I'm sorry if I keep looking to the side. I had to make like notes to myself to make sure I don't go ranting about my hair, because it's not all that, but it's been frustrating getting it just to the point where it is, which is why it's down right now. So I'm gonna let you see it. It doesn't look all that great today, but the reason I'm showing it to you right now is because it is basically in its purest form. Since my twist out video, I haven't done anything really to it. I mean, I've been putting it in ponytails and brushing it out because I've been too busy to put it back in twists, which is why it's straight, because I've been brushing it out. You can see some of the waves that are still existent. But this is my hair in its purest form because, as you know, last time I didn't blow dry and I haven't flat ironed it, as you can see, because it's everywhere. But aside from me putting my hair lotion on it, on my scalp, this is about, what my hair normally is. And so I will start telling you about my hair journey by telling you about my problems. Or the problems that I faced as a child, which were styling and my scalp care. As a child, I didn't know that what I did to my scalp affected the rest of my hair. It is the root. It's like a tree. And, as a child, I didn't really appreciate that, the way I do now. And as far as styling, I had a lot of friends that weren't necessarily African American. Many were white, some were Asian, some were Hispanic. One of my best friends was Panamanian. She had gorgeous hair, still does. But I couldn't compare myself to them, and I couldn't, come home saying, "Mom, I want this. Mom, I want that." Based on their hair, because all I would get from my mother was, "That's not for you, sweetie. That's for, that's not for black hair. That's not for us." Which wasn't a race thing. It's just the way it is. Black people, for the most part have different hair, unless they're, I guess mixed a bit more, but I digress. And the problem really for me was that mom told me what wasn't for me, but not necessarily what was, and to her credit, she didn't really know. So even though she knew certain things weren't for us, we had to use certain things because we didn't know what else to do, which is why we used, as what I would call, without being racist, white people shampoo, because for the longest we didn't know any better. But at the same time, being black, I didn't do a lot of, I guess typical things that some African American girls gravitate towards. I never had, I mean, I had braids when my hair was natural when I was younger, but I didn't have like the braids with the Kanekalon and whatnot, and, those long box braids. I never had that. Mom never asked if I wanted them, and I never asked her just because it never occurred to me. As I got older into my teenage years, I never got weaves. I never thought to, which is weird because I'd see people getting them and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty, but never thought to get it myself. So all I've ever had was the hair that God gave me out my scalp. And as a child, I know that I got relaxers probably as soon as humanly possible, which was not my decision. I know a lot of girls sometimes ask their parents for relaxers. I think I didn't have a choice because based on my baby pictures, I was born with a full head of hair. Apparently the first thing the nurse said was, "Oh my God, look at that hair." And as I, grew into my, I guess, second or third year, mom has pictures of my hair just piled on top of my head in a ponytail because she didn't really know what to do about it. So I think as soon as I was probably old enough, she quickly used a relaxer to make it, a way that could be manageable. And I still, got relaxers up until a little while ago, and you can't really see that I have some new growth, but I do, because lately I haven't been using relaxers, but I'll get into that later. And another problem with relaxers that I've had is, aside from being dry, my scalp is also sensitive, which kind of, it's a double-edged sword because if my hair is dry, I scratch, and I'm not supposed to scratch when I'm supposed to get a relaxer. So I get chemical burns and the scars, and it's annoying, but you know, I wasn't really able to start my hair journey until I got to college because I wasn't really as in control of my hair. I washed it myself, and I guess I flat ironed it myself too most of the time. But it always seemed like people were deciding my hair for me. My mom would normally do my relaxers unless we went to a hairdresser, and my aunt would too. And sometimes my aunt would just be like, just come over. I'm just going to do your hair. And so, I mean, I said yes because it would be rude to say no, but I didn't really have much of a say in what happened to my hair. And as I got into college, because it was all me, it was all my responsibility, I figured it out. And, I've learned some things. I no longer let my mom cut my hair because she cuts off my ends, but she doesn't really do it right. She doesn't go through layer by layer. She just goes at the end, and she is no longer allowed to do that. I've learned, I mean, I knew this, but I twist the back of my hair. You can see back here where it's a little bit shorter, I twist this when I get nervous. And people have been trying to get me to stop for years, and I've been trying to stop, but I know it's a kind of a neurological thing. It's kind of a comfort thing, but it's been damaging my hair, so that's something I've been fighting against. But so I started my hair journey really my sophomore year, I would say, which was just last year for me because I just finished my junior year. And basically, I was talking to a friend, a good friend of mine, and she was telling me about the ingredients in products. I, never knew what products I could and couldn't use, but now that I started using products, all I had to do was turn around and read the labels and found out what is and isn't okay for my hair. I've learned. It was really funny though too, because I was telling her, I was ranting is how it started. I was ranting. I was like, oh my gosh, I got this, hair lotion and it's not doing anything for my scalp. It's itchy. Oh my god. And she tells me, about product, things with alcohols and sulfates and crap like that. And not to say that it's all bad because some hair can need it, but because my hair is already dry, it's kind of adding insult to injury to use it. And it's funny, I looked through my products right after that and ended up throwing half of them away because most of them had alcohols, which were just drying my scalp out more. And so that was kind of the start of everything because it's like now I have to actually read the ingredients because I thought if it was made for hair, it was okay. That's not true. You gotta figure it out. And it's funny because I don't really even know my hair type, to be honest. I mean, yes, it's dry, or was dry, it's better now. But I've heard that there's like letters and numbers that tell you what your hair is, like 4A and 3C and stuff. I don't know all that. All I know is that I have really thick hair, as you can see. It's very thick. There's a lot of it, and it can be dry, so I have to tend to the scalp. And so I've definitely learned over the course of the last few years the value of reading the ingredients and the frustration of, finding out that a product doesn't do what it says it would do. For the longest, me and my mother used Pantene, the white people version, because we didn't know what else to use. So I thought I'd be smart and use the African American version. That doesn't really do anything because it has the same ingredients. It still has alcohols in it and it has sulfates and what's the point of saying it's for African Americans if it does the same thing as the other one? So even if they say it has good stuff in it, it's normally overweighed by the bad. So I've definitely learned a little about that. I've also tried to gravitate away towards relaxers. I can't say I'm going natural because based on how my hair was as a child, I don't want to have to deal with all that. Though I'm not going to say that natural hair isn't beautiful because it is. But this year, my junior year, I've started doing texture softeners, which are still a chemical, but they're less harsh. And so I've been doing that instead, but I still wanted to gravitate away from chemicals. So tomorrow I'm actually getting my first keratin treatment, which is supposed to do the job of a relaxer and texture softener, except it's a protein rather than a chemical. And on top of that, it's supposed to last longer than the average 6 weeks that you wait between treatments. So I'm excited about that. And I've also learned, it's funny, I had to be around other African American people and live with them to find out what I'm supposed to do because there was just things that as a child I didn't know because my mom didn't know, so she couldn't tell me. Just as an example, this was the comb that I've always used. You can see one of the teeth broke off, so I don't use it anymore so it doesn't snag. But for the longest, I thought this was a normal comb. I was then told it's actually a detangling comb. My sweet mates, who are also African American, had to tell me, and I felt so dumb. But the more you know. And then when my hair is wet, because I know not to use this, I thought it was okay to use this because I thought it was a wide tooth comb. It's really just a normal comb, which I thought was funny, but it's wider tooth than this one, but it's still just a normal comb. So it wasn't until last year that I actually got a shower comb that is definitely more wide tooth and, less snaggy. I've just learned so much over the last 2 years. And so now I will break down the main lessons to you that I've learned over my hair journey because I'm definitely not done. I don't know if I'll ever be done because I just want to keep getting my hair and my scalp healthier. So, lesson number one, black products sometimes lie. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, because, if they have, okay, not everybody has a problem with sulfates, alcohols, or whatever. If your hair doesn't get dried out, that's fine. But I personally can't do it. As you guys have seen in my last video, I use organics because they're sulfate free, and I have to read the ones that, read the label to stay away from the ones with alcohols. They're normally in this shape bottle. Get whatever one you can. And that's one thing I found. Are number two. Oils are God's gift to hair. I never thought until my sophomore year last year, I never thought to put straight up oil on my scalp, but it has done wonders. I started with straight up olive oil, which is great, but then ran out. But especially this year, I've been experimenting with, different oils from Sally's. What's this? Soy, coconut. I have straight up coconut oil too, the organic one. Tea tree oil. I have an olive oil one. I have grapeseed oil over there somewhere, and argan oil. And normally what I do, just to make sure it's balanced, is I mix it evenly in a little bottle like this. As you can see, I need to mix some more. And apply it directly to my scalp and just kind of massage it in. And it's it's just so good. Because it's funny, I noticed that I have to oil less often now because, my hair just retains it so well. I used to have to oil my scalp about 2 or 3 times a week. Now I'm down to one, and that's wonderful. I've also learned to stay away from sulfates and alcohols. Like I said, that's just me. It's just a dry scalp thing. If that doesn't work for you, that's whatever. But I've also learned to stay away from petrolatum. I used to use the hair grease that my mom put on my scalp. The stuff that comes in the little triangle bottle. It's normally blue or green. And I've learned that petrolatum actually makes it harder for moisture to absorb into the scalp. It clogs pores and it kind of stunts the growth a little bit. Not for everyone, but at least for me. So that's why I end up using things that are more like this, more like the hair lotion. And I've also learned to stay away from mineral oils. Even though I'm an advocate for oils, mineral oil is a bullcrap oil. It is normally, a combination of crap that's not even beneficial to your hair. It's kind of like a junk drawer oil. I've also learned to work with the hair that I have and not the hair that I want. In the end, I want my hair to be healthy, but healthy doesn't mean, oh, it looks like that girl over there or it looks like this model over here. Healthy is just healthy, and healthy hair in the end will end up looking better. So I'm going to have, thick hair, hopefully forever, and whatever length it is, as long as it's healthy. Which brings me to my next point, actually. Length is not the same as health. This year I was able to get my hair long enough to reach my bra strap, but as you can see, it's not there anymore. I had to cut it because, I had split ends, but I would rather have shorter, healthy hair than long hair with split ends and frayed and just tired hair. Don't want it. The final lesson that basically started the whole thing was I learned that I have to take charge of my hair. And I kind of want to preach that a little bit because, I love my mother. She did the best that she could, but in the end, I had to find out what was right for me. And as much as I love my aunt and love that she would devote the time to doing my hair, I still had to do my own and find out what was right for me. As much as I trust hairdressers and know that they've gone to school, for X amount of years and their education continues, they still learn new things, I still, at the end, have to do what's right for me. I can't necessarily take somebody else's word, and apply it to me because my hair is my hair. I have to learn with it. I have to live with it. I have to work with it. So that's basically the course of my hair journey. It's not over by any means. It's been 2 years now, but it's going to keep going until I guess I can't say until I get where I want it, because it's healthy, and what more can I ask for? And the length that a length would be nice, but if it's short and healthy, that's just as great. So now that you've listened to my extensive hair journey, you can leave a comment, any kind of questions, concerns. If you want to preach back at me and be like, well, I do this, that, and the other, I'd love to hear it, because people say it and it's kind of cheesy, but knowledge is power. I didn't have the ability to learn all this from my mother, but now I can go back and teach her because I've learned. So, and now she's saying that her hair is doing better because my hair is doing better. It's just this great cycle. Share with people, because for some reason the how to take care of African American hair, even though we all have different mixtures and different textures, there's not enough information out there. And despite all the many videos that I see on YouTube, there's just still not enough, I guess, advocacy for just wonderful hair. So in the end, this is my hair. I can also show the results of my keratin treatment tomorrow and see what you guys think, but I'm very happy with it, and I wish you guys the best of luck in your own personal hair journey. So this is Koari-chan, and I'll see you next time.